Hi guys, and welcome to your daily tarot reading for Friday the 30th of April 2021. Thanks for joining me. I'm going to use the Radiant Rider-Waite deck for today's reading. Let's see what these cards have to say about Friday and what energy is coming up for you. So I'm just going to choose 3 cards as always. Let's have a look. All right, so I'm going to shuffle the cards a couple of times. Okay, let's see. First, we've got Death. All right. Then we've got the 6 of Cups. And finally, oh wow, the 5 of Swords. That's really interesting because Death is a major arcana card. That's about an ending. The 6 of Cups, when it's this way around, is about a real soulmate relationship. It's about being selfless and giving something from the heart. It's in reverse. So some sort of relationship that is less than ideal is likely to come to an end, or certain patterns in your relationships, you're able to put those to bed once and for all. And then the 5 of Swords is genuine conflict. So those are relationships that are really problematic. And again, with the Death card, you're able to finish that kind of behavior, and you're able to change the dynamic and get out of that kind of pattern of way of behaving or interacting with other people. Okay, so let's see what each card is about. The Death card is a universal theme that is always accessible. So you can finish things at any point, at any time. You always have the choice. You can always say, I'm going to continue to engage with this, or I'm just going to let it pass out of my life. I'm going to be done with this once and for all. And it's an energy you can tap into whenever you want. That's the great thing about the major arcana. You know, each one is a major theme, and we get to know these energies as we go through life. And once you've been through something, you kind of take ownership of it and you're able to use it to your advantage. So Death, once you've lost something, obviously it doesn't feel great, but it kind of it's kind of like aversion therapy in a way, because once you've gone through that, you're able to say, okay, I've lost this, that activity or personal place has exited my life, and I have continued on. And even though it was unpleasant and painful, I know what that feels like, and I realized that I can survive even when things that I thought I needed to live and to have a wonderful experience, when those have gone, I've been left behind and I've continued anyway. So I now realize that certain things that don't please me, I can deliberately bring in that energy of death. I can end certain things. I can let go of them once and for all. And no one can really argue with that, because it's me tapping into the energy. And if the Pope says you can't do that, or if the King says, what do you think you're doing? Or if this little girl says, hey, you're spoiling my fun, please stop, then you really don't have to listen to that. You can say, actually, it's time for me to get over this, or to transcend it, or to move on. And that is totally your choice, that no one can do anything about. The next card, the 6 of Cups in reverse. So apply this energy, and the cards are saying that if there is a relationship in your life that's less than ideal and that's problematic and that's causing you pain, it's not a soulmate relationship. You don't feel nurtured. You don't feel built up by it. Then apply the energy of the 13th card in the major arcana and say, I am not forcing myself to engage with this because I really don't have to. And it's as simple as that. It's just a personal choice that you've got. So if there's something in your life where you really feel like you're being victimized, or you have no choice, or there's no way out, the cards are reminding you that there is a way out, and you don't have to be a prisoner to anything or anyone or any circumstance. You always have a choice. Finally, the 5 of Swords, you can see this smug little swordsman smirking at 2 opponents that he's beaten. And the 5 of Swords is real conflict. It's not trivial conflict. That's the 5 of Wands, just playing around and kind of being awkward or a little bit sarcastic or insulting other people to make yourself feel better. The 5 of Swords is really serious. It's like betraying someone, or lying to them or stealing from them in order to make yourself feel richer. It's really bad behavior when it comes towards you and other people. And the thing about bad behavior like that, if you treat other people with disrespect, what you put out, you get back. So it really doesn't serve you to behave in a way that's cruel or cold or dishonest, because what goes around comes around. And the Five of Swords is very similar to the Six of Cups in the sense that, yes, you can put an end to a relationship that is less than loving and ideal, but this card takes it to the next step and it says you can end a relationship or a connection, a situation where you're being tyrannized or bullied, or where someone is really just not listening. Like if you're in a situation where someone treats you badly and you've tried to explain that you don't like that and that the behavior please needs to change, otherwise you're gonna leave or do something about it, or I don't know, call the police in a specific example, and that other person says yeah whatever, and they don't listen and they just continue on, then you really don't have to tolerate that today anymore. The other thing is the Five of Swords. Swords is about ideas and thinking. So it's about ways of seeing a relationship, people's perspective. It's also the way you think, the way you communicate, the way other people come across and communicate. So it's really altering something that's been entrenched for a while. So if there is a situation where the other person doesn't listen or is unwilling to learn and look at things differently, then there may be this internal sense that something clicks and you have a eureka aha moment where you go, it is not my job to educate this other person. It's not my job to tolerate this behavior. I am not their parent. I'm not responsible. And sometimes when you engage with that, it's actually quite harmful to you and the other person, because they don't learn from you tolerating everything. Sometimes you have to be a little bit, that is enough. Thank you very much. I'm not going to accept this. For the other person to have a bit of a wake-up call and to realize that maybe, hey, this behavior isn't universally accepted and maybe I'm wrong and maybe I should do something about it. So it's not that you have to be harsh and dismissive, but it can also be that by standing your ground and really being powerful in terms of what you will accept and what you won't accept, that the other person has a bit of a wake-up call and says, wow, I'm actually not being particularly kind or nice, and if I want to maintain my relationships and my friendships, I may have to change. And sometimes we all need a bit of a wake-up call. You know, unless someone tells us or exits or kind of shows us in some way that we're doing is harmful or negative, and sometimes we don't even realize. None of us are perfect, so this isn't about I'm a good person and they're bad people. It really isn't about that. We all have these kind of behavior patterns. You know, we're all inconsiderate at times. We all barge into situations without thinking and informing ourselves. Sometimes, you know, we've all been unaccountable in certain situations. So it's not a judgment. It's just saying that we all have room to grow. So if someone kind of says, do you know what, enough, I've had enough of this, then really don't immediately get defensive and say, oh, how rude. Then kind of look at yourself and see, is this justified, this reaction? Maybe am I doing something incorrectly? And if you get that sense with someone else in your life, as in I've tolerated this for years and years and I've tried to tell this person that I want them to alter their behavior, and today something just clicks and it's like, this is never going to change. I've had it. I'm over it. Then really believe that feeling. Don't try and force yourself into being kind and tolerant if you really don't feel it, because you're not doing yourself a favor, and you may actually do the other person a favor by letting them know what you really think and feel. So it's not going to be the easiest of days in the sense of your relationships, and I'm just being told with swords, it can also be information like a course that you're doing. If you're doing a university course and you've got into it by thinking, oh, well, this is kind of what I ought to be doing, this is what family said I should be doing, or you haven't been quite certain that it's the right thing for you, on this day, you may realize, do you know what, I'm studying the wrong thing here. I don't love it. and it would serve me rather than to be in this degree for another 2-3 years and to waste my time. It would really serve me to cut it off and to apply for a course that I actually enjoy. So you see, these endings are actually something that can really benefit you. And it's important to not sweep that under the rug and to be truthful with yourself about what you enjoy and what you engage with and what doesn't work. Number-wise, we've got 13, and 6 is 19, and 5 is 24. Let me just double check that. 6 and 5 is 11, and 13 is 24. Yep. 2 and 4 is 6, and 6 is a temporary opportunity in numerology. So you have a window of clarity, a moment of understanding. You see a relationship or a circumstance for what it truly is, and you have a choice either to continue with it or to finish it, to end it, to cut it off. And that works in your favor, whichever way you decide, because you're acting on something that is true for you and that's authentic to how you feel. So have a wonderful day. I hope you're able to let go of some baggage that no longer serves you and to replace it with things that are positive and that enrich your life. If you'd like a personal reading with me, please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. On the front page, click on book your reading to order your reading with me. I use the tarot, astrology, and numerology in my personal reading. So the way I just combine the cards and the numbers, I combine all three in my personal readings. And with the astrology, I need your place of birth, date of birth, and time of birth. When I have that info, I can draw up your birth chart. That's a snapshot of the sky at the moment you were born, and it tells me all about you. So your life purpose, your vocational aptitudes, finance, spiritual development, personal development, location, relationships, health, romance, love, family, anything that you want to have a look at, get some clarity on, or if you have some decisions to make about what you want to do in future, then the chart and the progress chart and the transits really allow me to look at all of that very clearly. So if you need some information or you want a second pair of eyes, then please do get in touch with me for a personal reading via the website gregoryscott.com. If you like this video, then please give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and share the video online. Have a wonderful day, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.